Hello and welcome back into the WK page. I am George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here for Weather Now Kentucky. Give me just one moment as I get all these broadcasts set up here. We are live simulcasting on YouTube and on Facebook. As always, before we dive into the information, please tap the share button at the bottom portion of your screen. This one's going to be important, so please tap that share button at the bottom portion of your screen. We have a rogue supercell that has drifted off into Frankfort, Kentucky, where a tornado warning is now active for southeastern Shelby County, north central Anderson County, and Franklin County in central Kentucky at 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 7 miles southeast of Shelbyville, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. So please, once again, tap the share button at the bottom portion of your screen. This one's pretty important because this is out of nowhere for north central Kentucky. So I'll bet you a lot of people don't know about this one. Please tap that share button. Thank you for everyone tuning in. I'll get into a lot of your questions here in just one moment. I want to take a real quick look in here. This was issued by the National Weather Service. If I don't necessarily see a whole lot on this. There is a bit of a debris ball up there toward Hooper. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Go back to our velocity here. So it looks like this is moving northeast at a speed of northeast at 45 miles per hour. So if this is on the ground, it is right here and moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So it'll be in Peytona in 2 minutes, Hatton in 7 minutes, Benson in 9 minutes, Bryant in 11 minutes, and then they're on your list there. I'll leave it up on the screen for you. Let me pull that back in just a smidge. So again, tornado warning is active for this area in north central Kentucky. Now again, this is a rogue supercell. There's actually barely any energy up here to support a tornado. However, this one has spun up. So the National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for this area. I want to say a quick thank you to everyone hitting the share. The shares are going up big time, so thank you guys for all the shares on the videos. Thank you to everyone on YouTube for tuning in as well. Again, I wanted to go live for this real quickly. I don't see a whole lot on radar personally, but again, the National Weather Service did issue a tornado warning for this area, and it is really out of nowhere because once again, there's barely there's barely an ounce of energy up here. That just goes to show you that some of these storms on nights like tonight will do what they want to do. So if you're just not tuning in, once again, I am George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here for WK. We have a new tornado warning in a new area up near Frankfort, Kentucky, that has gone active about 3 minutes ago. And it does last, I believe. Let's go ahead and check here one more time. Take the tracker off. Does last for another 28 minutes there in Frankfort. Ongoing around the rest of the area, a strong line of storms now entering central Kentucky. It is non-severe at this time. We are watching an area toward Litchfield going into southwestern Hardin County for this area to maybe get a little bit stronger and produce a severe thunderstorm there. We're keeping an eye on it. Bowling Green undergoing thunder showers right now. Nothing severe there. I want to make a quick note. The tornadoes down in southern Tennessee or northern Tennessee heading toward southern Kentucky. The one in Nashville looks really strong. The one up here more closer to the border does not look very significant at this time. So ongoing down there, we'll have to watch that threat. Those would likely push into Scottsville, Fountain Run, and Glasgow later on tonight. However, if you're just now tuning in, I want to welcome you to the WK page here. We are live with a tornado warning near Frankfort, Kentucky. Again, out of nowhere. I was literally making a quick bite for dinner, watching the radar, and it just popped up. Again, I personally am not seeing a ton on the radar to indicate tornadic activity. There is a bit of a debris ball up here, more closer toward, let's say, Peytona, Highway 395. So if there was a tornado, it was likely up there. However, again, not seeing a whole lot personally, but the National Weather Service felt comfortable enough to push a tornado warning out. A new scan has just come in. Still not seeing a ton there. Let me see if I can switch radars and probably see something different. No radars available. Let's see. Again, here's the velocity. If it is, in fact, a tornado, I have a little drop down there. Let's take a look more closer. Frankfort, nothing there just yet. We might have a bit of a drop down on that last run there. It kind of showed a little something. Again, it kind of looks like a main line of walls here, but we are noticing a little bit of an outflow toward Frankfurt. So we're going to keep an eye on this. Again, just not tuning in. Tornado warning active for Frankfurt, Bridgeport, Harrisonville, going toward that northeastern portion of the state at this point. Really out and over because, again, I'm going to point out real quickly to you. The main line is back out here towards central and western Kentucky. This is a rogue supercell that really just, I'm not even sure how it happened. I'll have to actually study this one because there's not any energy available for this. There really isn't. Franklin area, we're watching for that area later on tonight. Possibility for some strong storms to move through there. Anything else for Auburn, Kentucky? Still watching this possibility for some more storms through there, although I don't expect them to be nearly as strong as that one that came through. Again, if you're looking for any forecast updates, we have them all over our pages. I'm not going to go too far into forecast details. We just did a 2.5-hour broadcast. There are forecast details in that. We also have forecast posts on our page with details of what exactly to expect. So I'm not going to go into super far details on forecasting. We're more so focused on nowcasting the actual tornado warning near Frankfort, Kentucky at this time. We're now getting a special weather statement out here toward central Kentucky. Again, we're watching this cell back out here toward Litchfield. It's trying to get a little something going. I don't know if it's going to realize its energy. Basically, what I mean, like, if a car can go 200 miles per hour, but it's only going 60 miles per hour, it's not realizing its full speed. So, like, that's kind of the same thing here. There's energy available for this cell near Litchfield, but we're not sure if it's going to realize its full potential because of some of the rain that that has occurred throughout the afternoon, kind of dampening the area there, lowering dew points, lowering temperatures. So we're not quite sure if this area is actually going to realize its potential. We're going to still keep tracking that once we're Litchfield. But again, if you are just now tuning in, a tornado warning has been issued up here for southeastern Shelby, north central Anderson, and Franklin County in central Kentucky for those folks up there. We're exactly in Frankfort. Once again, I have it zoomed down out pretty far right here. You can kind of see it for yourself. Right now, located near Bridgeport, going toward Frankfort. New tornado warning for just north of Nashville, down there toward Tennessee. Amy, thank you for that update there. I appreciate that. Yeah, and that's my point, Adam. This is truly a rogue supercell, basically meaning an anomaly. There's really no energy up here, so I'm gonna have to study this one quite a bit after we get done this evening and going into tomorrow because I haven't seen any reports of anything touching down. I haven't seen really a whole lot of rotation on radar. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's definitely a kick in winds up there. There's definitely a kick up in winds out there. But I haven't really seen a whole lot when it comes to actual measurables for tornadic activity. There's barely any correlation drop. There is a little bit down there. There's a bit right here. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit on this. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit. Again, just not a whole lot. We're going to continue to track that for you guys, though. And again, we're going to watch this one out here toward Litchfield as it enters western Hardin County. I want to see how that interacts with the boundary there. It might continue to intensify and turn into a severe storm. Michael's Adventures on YouTube, thank you for that comment. I appreciate you. No one is in the clear yet. If you are in western Kentucky, you're in the clear. So if you're behind this line, so like Hopkinsville, Madisonville, Owensboro, Henderson, Morganfield, Marion, Benton, Murray, Mayfield, Paducah, if you're behind this line, you should be all clear for the night. I don't see any more redevelopment down here. I don't see anything happening. If this line has not passed you yet, you are not in the clear. So Danville is far to the right of this. It has not passed you yet. You are not in the clear until that line passes you. Yes, I do think Glasgow sees more action this evening. I do think Hart County sees more action this evening as well. Again, if that line has not passed you yet, you are not clear. Because you still have this coming up from Nashville, and you still have this line right here. And as they push over, and they'll make a new line, and they'll kind of push out to the east and create a strong wind event. That's why this one up here toward Frankfort is really anomalous. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. I'm just not seeing a whole lot with this cell, guys. I'm really not. I'm not sure where this came from. I'll have to see. I'm gonna wait the description from the National Weather Service before I judge anything, but I'm just not. I'm not seeing much there. I'm really not. Yes, Campbellsville will see more action this evening. Jesse, I think that's pretty accurate because they're knocking on the door of Rhineyville right now. No, Frankfurt's well north of Bowling Green. It's going north. Remember, guys, 98% of our storm motions are always going to be either northeast or east or north. They're almost never going to go south unless we're talking about wintry stuff. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. Again, Elizabethtown about to see a strong thunderstorm here in the next 30 to 45 minutes. Thank you for all of your shares, all of the hearts going across on YouTube and on Facebook. Thank you guys a lot for your effort of sharing our word and sharing our video here to help get more folks informed. Thank you for doing your part. I appreciate that. Out of Breckenridge by 6. I mean, this storm will be, but you have to watch for any back building storms. Sarah, it's hard to say right now. That line coming through is non-severe, but we do have a portion of the line trying to turn severe right now, so kind of hard to say at this given moment. I'm going to check back in up here on Frankfurt. Still not seeing a whole lot there. Let me look at the correlation coefficient. Not seeing a whole lot there either. Let's look at the differential reflectivity. Yeah, not seeing a whole lot there either. I'm really not quite sure the reasoning behind the tornado warning. Don't get me wrong, the winds were kicking there for a minute. I'm just not quite sure why I'll have to wait and see what the National Weather Service saw. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to judge before. I don't want to judge anything. This is a hard job to do. But I'm not seeing any reasoning for that. And again, we're still watching the main focus of the next, let's say, 2 to 3 hours as these storms track into southeastern Kentucky or south central and southeastern Kentucky. Is going to be this area. We'll have to see if this continues its energy or not. Scottsville, Glasgow, Summer Shade, Fountain Run, Tompkinsville, all being in that window for this group of storms on here. Up here, more for central Kentucky, like Bowling Green, and then more north of that area, going out here where my circled area is now. You're more focused on this line of storms and seeing how they interact with the boundary. It's going to be really interesting because there's been a lot of rainfall to occur here. So this environment should be pretty monotoned, but we'll see how that develops. Timeline for the Scottsville track. Looks like it'll be in Scottsville in probably about 45 minutes to an hour. So you're looking at about 6:45 p.m. or let's call it 6:30 p.m. to about 7:30 p.m. Big time thunder here in Radcliffe. So I do apologize if I lose power or internet connection to you guys. I'm in Radcliffe and we're kind of seeing the northern portion of this line. It looks pretty weak, but sometimes the power lines just go down. Eastern Kentucky, we're not really seeing any severe threats. If you're beyond this area right here, we're not really seeing any severe threats for this area. But it looks to be later on tonight into the overnight hours, you'll see rain showers and thunder showers. No, E-Town, probably about 25 minutes or so. 25 minutes or so before you see this little cell right here. We'll have to watch this and see kind of how this interacts with the area. It should stay pretty tamed. Right now, this blue box is just a special weather statement, basically telling you, hey, there's a strong thunderstorm coming. It's not yellow or red, so it's not severe. But we'll continue to see how that trends. Yeah, apparently Frankfurt has a tornado warning. That's why we went live. But again, ever since I've been live, I haven't really seen any rotation. There has definitely been a wall of winds to kick up and a really strong thunderstorm, don't get me wrong. But I haven't seen any real rotation on the radar or anything indicating anything tornadic. But again, the National Weather Service felt like they needed to issue it, so we'll roll with it. Okay, we're getting to the point where we're repeating a lot of towns at this point, so I just want to mention again, all of our forecast info is on all of our social medias, on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. There are written posts, there are videos, whatever you want to look at, all over our social media. So if you're looking for specific forecast details, I would ask that you refer to those. Let us focus more so on the actual live event that's occurring right now. Forecast details, once again, are all over all of our social medias. So if you are looking for timings or specific effects, you can find those on all of our social medias. Because now I'm just getting to the point where I'm seeing the same counties repeated again. And no offense to any of you, but if I were to answer those, we'd be here all night. I'm not kidding. I used to do that in the past, and 1 to 2 hour live videos turned into 4 to 5 hour live videos. It's impossible. It's impossible. Like I'm seeing Harlan County, and I've already mentioned that 5 times. And again, I'm not complaining. I know it sounds like I am, but I'm just trying to focus more so on what's happening now. All of our forecast details, we spent the last 48 hours putting all over our pages so that you guys can have them. So I would ask you to just refer to those. Timing is, again, until this line passes you. So, again, if this line has not passed you yet, you are not out of the severe window. If you are beyond Eastern Kentucky, all about here, we don't expect this line to be severe for you. If you are in anywhere in this area, there's a chance of severe weather. So just want to make that very general analysis for you there, but just kind of the analysis so far. So again, tornado warning is active for Frankfort. Again, I'm not really seeing a whole lot here. I'm just not. We went live because we saw the tornado warning notification come across our devices. So I wanted to go live for you guys. But again, I'm just really not seeing anything. I just put it bluntly. I'm just not. I don't know what that's for. I really don't. Again, the one thing that we are continuing to watch is this line that's exiting Litchfield going into Elizabethtown over the next 20 minutes or so. It looks strong right now. It is currently non-severe. However, it does look strong. Might have a 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gust with it. Perhaps some small hail as well. But nothing severe there just yet. Frankfort's technically in the tornado warning, but I'm just not seeing anything. Yeah, so Frankfort's not technically in the clear. I'm just not seeing anything right now. And I haven't this entire live video. Robbie, thank you for that update there. So quiet here in Lexington. Thank you for the update there. Yeah, Lexington, you got probably you've got probably 3 or 4 hours until it reaches Lexington. Again, I know sirens are going off. I know there is a tornado warning in Frankfort. I'm just not seeing anything on the radar. If you guys are in Frankfort and are seeing anything, please let me know. But on the radar, it doesn't look like there's anything really going on. Yeah, I think Anderson County was dropped from the warning. Just want to note one more time, all of the forecast details are all over all of our social medias. You guys can look for details on all of that stuff. We're going to focus a little bit more on the actual tornado warning happening right now. And Frankfort, just rain and sirens at this point. Thank you for the update there. Thank you, Jessica, for your update. Thank you, Brittany, for the update there. Kristen, thank you for the update there. I appreciate that. I don't. I'm just telling you what I see on here. I'm just telling you what I see on the radar. It literally says on the radar from the National Weather Service, a tornado warning remains in effect until 6 p.m. Eastern Time for Central Franklin County. That's it. There's no Anderson County listed. Tornado warning has been expanded into Franklin, Kentucky now, down here towards southern Kentucky, Pope, and just outside of Franklin, I should say, more toward Pope, Kentucky. Tornado warning has been expanded toward that area for this little corridor of tornadic action down here into Tennessee. Again, doesn't look very tight on the radar data itself. However, this has had a history of producing tornadic activity before, so the National Weather Service went ahead and posted a tornado warning for that area. So if you're just not tuning in, tornado warning is active up in Frankfort and down here toward Pope, Kentucky. and Scottsville just outside of that. So a couple different areas of Kentucky that we're keeping our eye on right now. Chuck, what are you talking about? Hold up. We're not gonna let that slide by. We're not gonna let that slide by. You know, we forecasted this for 48 hours, right? I have been back here in this room for at least 27 of those 48 hours, right? And so we're not gonna just let it fly by when you say something like that. Chuck, I really hope you find more purpose in life than to hop in here and try to be someone cool like that, because you just sound flat out. You just sound stupid. You just sound stupid. I'm showing you what's on the radar. This is not me making anything up. This is literally on the radar right now. And these warnings are published by the National Weather Service. Tornado warning down there. Tornado warning up here. We had a super strong tornado push through Guthrie, Kentucky, heading toward Auburn and Bowling Green. I don't really know what you're talking about, but I'm going to advise you that I'm not like the rest of them. I will call you out, and now you just look silly. And you are banned. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. There are quite literally lives being lost today down in Tennessee and southern Kentucky. Damages, lives being altered because of what's going on. And you're going to say something like that. That's just this generation, man, it's getting out of control. It's getting out of control. People hiding behind a keyboard that wouldn't say anything like that to anybody in real life. The amount of work that I put in behind this desk over the last 48 hours in the last 5 years, say something like that. I'm not letting that slide by. I'm sorry, guys. That might be unprofessional, but around here we don't play those games. Thank you all for all of y'all's kind words. I just usually I let that kind of stuff slide by, but lives are quite literally being altered today, and someone that's not being affected gets to sit at home comfortably and say something silly like that and have no consequence because they just hide behind a keyboard. Thank you. I promise you, I'm not going to let one negative Nancy alter my mood. I'm already tired, but and Cody, I usually don't, but sometimes you just have to like nip it in the bud before someone like that becomes a cancer in the comment section. So anyway, if you are just now tuning in, there is a tornado warning active back out here toward Pope, Kentucky, and down here towards southern Kentucky. That one has been a tornado warning cell for quite some time. One up here toward Frankfort does not look very active in my opinion. Again, National Weather Service felt comfortable enough to issue a warning, but not really seeing anything indicative of rotating storms or tornadic activity there. So we're going to focus solely on this one down here towards southern Kentucky, where it's had the history of tornadic activity. And again, Pope, Kentucky in the way of this one. Scottsville up on the gun after that. Storm near E-Town still non-severe. Thank you all for all of your kind words. I appreciate that. Thank you guys. Again, I'm not gonna let the one outweigh the many. You know what I mean. That's kind of the focus I live by in life. The motto I live by in life. You never let one outweigh the many, right? You don't let one bad day outweigh the many good days. You don't let one bad person outweigh the good people. But sometimes you just have to nip that in the bud real quickly. Someone's asking about Nashville, Tennessee. This is a potentially dangerous situation ongoing in Nashville, Tennessee. A tornado emergency just north of there. I don't typically cover Nashville. Sarah, thank you for Kristen, thank you for the 50 stars. I appreciate that kindness so much. Thank you a ton. This is a potentially dangerous situation down here toward just north of Nashville going into Hendersonville, Tennessee. I don't really cover there very much. I'm not going to go into too many details. Just know that there is a dangerous situation unfolding in that north central portion of Tennessee. While the blue blocks around Litchfield, that's just a special weather statement, basically letting you know that there's a strong thunderstorm on the way. Not quite severe, though. They have canceled the tornado warning up there toward Frankfurt. I still don't know why that was even issued, but we'll let that go. Again, so like for people like that have something negative to say, right? Just think about it this way. What if this was 50 miles north, right? What if that, just little stuff like that. Be thankful that this isn't us today, and also be gracious and be humbled and thinking about the people that it is affecting. I'm sorry. That just irritates me, man. From what this state has gone through the last 2 years with tornadic activity, for someone to say something like that, it's just irritating. We have the anniversary of the Mayfield tornado tomorrow, anniversary of the Bowling Green tornado tomorrow. It just irritating. Just irritating. Does Scottsville, Kentucky have a tornado warning? No, it's just behind Scottsville, but Scottsville is the next in line forward. So if it does keep its strength, Scottsville would be next up. Here comes Rainy Frankfurt now. Thank you very much for that info there. Again, if you guys are looking for a specific forecast info, it is all over all of our social medias at WNKWX on Twitter, at WNKWX on Facebook, and at WNKWX on YouTube. Or you can just search Weather Now Kentucky on all those platforms. If you're looking for specific forecast info on what to expect, it's all there. I'm not going to be able to get to all of your questions tonight because we are obviously covering a live event occurring right now. So if you're wanting like actual details, specific details, I promise you, it's all over our pages. No, the forecast has not changed at all, guys. Our forecast has been really spot on so far. I don't feel like it needs a change at all. In fact, I don't think this tornado warning down here is warranted. They probably only issued it because of the history that it had. But like for example, this is a great example. Unfortunately, this is a tornado down here, right? You see the bright red, yellow next to the bright green. Outbound winds right next to inbound winds when they're tight like that and they have a little circle. That is a very clear indication of a tornadic activity. And that's what we saw in Guthrie earlier. You come up here to this tornado warning, you don't really see that. You see a little bit of a drop. That indicates broad rotation, so perhaps some strong winds and hail, but nothing really tornadic. That's the difference. Leah, the forecast hasn't changed at all from what I mentioned to you earlier. Siren still going off on Frankfurt. Sometimes the people in charge of the emergency systems get a little trigger happy from time to time. And it's probably a little trigger happy up there. There's no tornado warning active for Frankfurt at this time. Litchfield, people asking about Hardin County. There is a strong thunderstorm moving in through there now. It is not severe, though, and it kind of looks like it's going to remain non-severe as well. The only type of real severe potential right now is down here towards southern Kentucky, going in towards Scottsville. However, even this storm looks like it's starting to weaken as well. Again, that's what we said. We're about the 5:30 p.m. time frame, Eastern time that is when we expect that these to start to kind of die down a little bit. However, we're continuing to watch what's happening in Tennessee. I mean, this is just unreal. I feel terrible for those people in north central and western Tennessee that have just been punched all day long, it feels like. There is a tornado warning just to the neighboring county of Scottsville. Scottsville would be next up if this does hold shape. However, it does look like it's beginning to weaken. We'll continue to watch that and track that, though. So, again, just want to note to you the differences between an actual... Oh, Lord have mercy. I know we don't cover Tennessee a lot, but they are our neighboring state. So I just want to mention real quickly that I just feel terrible for them. That is about as clear as it gets that this is likely a life-altering tornadic activity down here. If you're not inside in Hendersonville, Tennessee, you're likely getting injured, or this is a signature comparable to what happened in Bowling Green a couple years ago. So this is likely a very strong tornado down here toward Hendersonville, Tennessee. So I just want to show you the difference. So you see how these outbound winds are right next to the inbound winds, right? That's a very clear signature of tornadic activity. And the brighter those colors get, the deeper those colors get, is typically the stronger the tornado is. I also want to show you real quickly that when I put on the correlation coefficient, you see a nice big bright circle right here. That's a debris ball. Basically, the tornado is lifting up debris from the ground, throwing it up into the air, and it's being read by radar data. So when I go up here toward this tornado warning up here to the north, you don't really see that. So that's why my thinking is that this is beginning to weaken up here in southern Kentucky because there's not really anything in there. So that's kind of the difference between the two. And this purple and black box, the difference between these two, this is a regular tornado warning. This is a PDS tornado warning. PDS meaning potentially dangerous situation, aka tornado emergency. It is the highest tornado level that you can have on a warning. So that's your kind of difference there. Really, truly praying for these people down here and hoping that they're going to end up okay and have the best possible outcome. Also, our thoughts go out to over here in Guthrie, Trenton, Kentucky, these people out toward Clarksville, Tennessee, who got hit a couple times by some strong thunderstorms out there, including a large tornado. Again, this line up here, guys, I want to show you real quick. So a lot of people were asking about specific locations. I just want to show you once again. Let me make sure you guys can see this okay. Okay, I'm going to pull this down just a smidge more. Okay, I'm going to draw out a circle real quick. Right there. This is about the only area that I'm concerned with in Kentucky for the rest of the evening. Outside of that, there are some strong thunderstorms ongoing. Let me change the color real quickly. Let's do purple. Why not? There are some strong thunderstorms ongoing outside of that. So let's go ahead and draw that. Basically from Bowling Green up toward Louisville. And those continue to push north and east. Those might have a few pockets of wind bursts in them, maybe some lightning and thunder. They might sound real scary, but they should remain non-severe. As you can see, the rain shield is expanding. So this line is getting wider. That actually does point to a weakening line of storms. Even though there is more rain, it's taking away the energy. So the only real area that I am concerned about at this point is down in south central Kentucky, and I'll go ahead and zoom in on it. So if you are not inside of this circle, I really don't have any concern for you tonight because it's just there's not enough energy there. So really just this area right here from Franklin to Glasgow to Columbia toward Monticello. This is the area that we're kind of watching. Outside of that, your likelihood of severe weather tonight, probably about 5% or less. So just to kind of put that in perspective for you, because I know a lot of folks are asking about, what should we see tonight? Is the severe window still open? Here, this and that. And I respect and appreciate that. I can just tell you that we're only focused on about 10% of Kentucky. The other 90% of Kentucky should not see any severe weather tonight. Now, again, you'll see strong thunderstorms and really loud and dark and scary thunderstorms, but just because they're loud does not mean they're dangerous. And if you don't know where you're at on the map, you can Google it, and that can help you kind of figure out where you're at on the map so that you can better read what we're talking about here. So again, this kind of line right here is kind of the only area, and the only reason we're concerned about it, there's not really a whole lot of energy there, but the only reason we're concerned about it is, again, these have a history of just producing tornadic activity, and they'll move into that area. Again, there's not a lot of energy even here. The main show from here on out is pretty much going to be in Tennessee and then down toward Alabama and Mississippi. I'm going to take a quick peek back in here toward Franklin and Scottsville, Kentucky, make sure nothing's going on there. Again, this is severely weakening. So I think that they're probably going to cancel this tornado warning or just let it ride and let it end. Really true, Adam. Really true. Sarah, I do. Somerset might just be a smidge too far east for the real big-time severe weather, but do expect to see strong thunderstorms later on tonight throughout the evening. Lights are flickering in Scottsville. Thank you for that update there. I'm check on my person from Bowling Green real quick, make sure they're still okay. Again, all of our forecast details are all over all of our social medias. Because this doesn't even look, I'm not even going to, this looks nothing like a tornado. Like, truly, again, just to show you real quickly the comparisons here. This is a tornado down here. The outflow and the inflow right next to each other. This is nothing. This should have been canceled. I don't know why that's still up. So, that said, we're actually going to end our broadcast here because we've mentioned our forecast 3 or 4 times. We've answered several questions. So I feel comfortable ending the broadcast here. We do, again, if you do need more information, all of our forecast info is on our Twitter and our Facebook and our YouTube. Check out those if you need more forecast info. I want to thank everyone for tuning on in here. Again, you don't have to apologize for the repeat comments. You really don't. It's just at a certain point, I have to step back, or else we'll be here all night answering the same questions over and over again. I'm not kidding. I used to do that in the past. I really did. And a 20, 30-minute broadcast would turn into a 2 or 3 hour broadcast because we're just answering about Elizabethtown over and over again. We're answering Bowling Green over and over again. And again, I completely understand, and that's what my job is, right? But all that information is all on our page. I promise you guys. I promise you. Thank you, Tyler, for that compliment there. I appreciate that. I hope that everyone stays safe today and throughout the evening. If there is any more surprises, we will be live once again with updates. Again, the latest information here that we have from the weather data is that the severe threat is quickly diminishing. I will post radar updates for you. I will let you know if anything changes. There is the potential for a snow threat tomorrow, a few snow showers. So we'll have that forecast out later on tonight as well. Thank you, Holly, for that picture from Hendersonville. Again, the storms are moving north and northeast. They will hit your area, but however, they are weakening. So, that said, we're going to end the broadcast there. Thank you to everyone for your all's kindness tonight. I pretty appreciate you. It's been 3 hours of broadcasting this, 24 hours of preparations, and I really do appreciate you guys. I know I may be a little bit testy in this video, but you guys just got to understand, our whole team is just exhausted. So thank you all again. We'll be back if anything again gets any type of dangerous or anything like that. Forecast details are available everywhere. Until next time, make sure you stay safe, Kentucky.